This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive into the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and mysterious lady who knows some stuff, Stairmaster.
I know you.
Oh, well, you must be have me confused with someone else.
You are Jesse Swanson.
Well, I usually go
TV Tuners.
I usually just go by the last name on TV Tuners.
Watch me do some kung fu.
Whoa!
Wah!
You broke that man with your powerful thighs. And with us, as always, is our other co-host and dream robot who is dead.
Why does he get to be Data?
Keel,
I want to be Data.
Greetings, I am Data. Do you think there is some sort of homosexual undertone to Picard constantly dreaming about me? Or am I reading too much into this?
I think there is some homosexual activity going on in the background with that hammering noise.
These are some interesting queries to ponder.
Perhaps
Also, I do
that
not know.
man's ass is being pummeled.
I do not know how Data is supposed to speak after only hearing him talk for 5 minutes in this show, but I think this is pretty accurate.
You've pretty much nailed it, I think.
You have not seen the TNG reruns on cable television?
I mean, they're not like...
No, I do not partake in such activities.
They're not like prevalent, Stairmaster.
They were pretty omnipresent back in the day and still are very common.
Anyway, yeah, there's some renovations being done, which is weird, because I don't remember asking for these renovations. Did you guys sign off on this?
Yes. I commissioned a shrine to Michael Kenneth Williams.
Who is still...
Why didn't
he's
you...
still alive?
Yeah, the shrine is to keep him alive.
Why don't you clear this with us? Because we're going to record.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Today was recording day, and I didn't expect to see a half-finished statue of Omar from The Wire.
Also, you should have really cleared this with me because I've got some contractors coming by in a few minutes.
To do what?
Yeah, what are they doing?
They're adding a patio.
Oh, that's a much more normal thing.
But we can't record on the patio.
Yeah, but it's like a good planning space.
Oh.
Yeah,
folks, you know how much we spend twice as much time preparing this podcast as we do recording it.
By the hours where we are sitting there waiting to record, yeah.
Now, here's the issue I've got, though, is that my guys are going to come by here in a few minutes, and they're going to definitely clash with your guys.
Why?
Wait, you're saying these boys are going to clash?
Yeah, these boys are going to clash. And, Stair, to answer your question, I've hired some pretty territorial contractors.
Oh. But they're not
What were you going to say?
Right?
I've not yet confirmed if they're racist or not.
Were they Italian?
Oh.
Look, I didn't check if they were Italian or not.
Well,
they're
was
just
one of them like a
contractors
guy named like Big Sal?
Oh, God, what if they're from Boston?
Well, yes, that was his name.
They're from Boston.
And Italian.
One of them might bring a flagpole.
Look, I didn't expect Stair to spring this on us. I was going to spring this on you guys, and that was going to be it.
I didn't expect you to spring this on us. I also didn't expect you to hire any, very violent service workers at any point in our podcasting career.
We're equally at fault here for this.
You're right. You're both to blame. And for that, I'm going to ask you to continue to be on this podcast with me.
Okay, and Swanson,
harsh punishment.
You didn't hire any contractors yourself, did you?
No, but today was the day that the milkman was going to come and do his annual milk inspection.
Why did you schedule that for today?
It just seemed like the best time. We have a healthy stock of milk, so we're not going to get any milk fines.
Hey, fellas, it's
Swanson.
me. It's that time of year again.
The milkman's here.
Okay, well, here we go.
First off, I'm going to have to inspect Stairmaster.
What? Huh?
Oh.
What?
Wait, what?
Ah!
Stair doesn't contain milk.
I think he drank a glass of milk before we started recording, actually.
Oh. Wow,
That's milk, all right.
He just took it out of your, intestinal tract.
2% pasteurized.
All right, well, do you want to test out this milk jug?
No.
Oh.
I'm not paid enough.
Wow, I mean...
I'm paid by the ounce.
So, we passed, then.
Yes.
You can leave?
See you next year, folks.
Wow. That'll be a fun recurring character.
How come we didn't hear him come in, but we heard him leave?
Well, it's hard to tell with all of the, current constructions going on. The soon-to-be dueling constructions. Oh, it sounds like
Hopefully
it might...
they're quiet when they're fighting.
It sounds like they might already be here.
Oh, no.
Anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, why not consider giving us a subscribe? We're available on all of the podcatchers of your choice. Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify. That's right, we're even on YouTube. You can find us on anything that you want to listen to podcasts on. Just type in TV Tuners. We'll be right there waiting for you.
Watching.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I guess in a way.
You can also follow us individually on TV Tuners if you're a TV Tuners super fan.
That's
or
right.
just think I sound cute.
Yeah, you can follow us individually by listening to TV Tuners.
Or following me on Twitter at StairR1.
Yeah, or me at Jesse Swanson.
You can follow me on Twitter at RealKeelRain.
You can also follow the show on Twitter at TV Tuners. And we can use the hashtag TV Tuners, and we'll give a glance at what you're saying. And we also have an email address if that's a thing you're into. That's right. We if you have any quips,
the communication method of the future.
Yeah, if you have any quips, comments, questions, foresights, or otherwise, you can send them to us at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Keel Rand?
tvthumpthump@gmail.com.
That's right. And you can be like this person who sent us an email. It's titled TV Podcast.
What?
Stairmaster. It's Marvin, your cousin, Marvin Stairmaster. You know that new television podcast framework you were looking for? Well, listen to this. This is sent from Marvin Stairmaster 2017?
Wait, hold on.
What's happening here?
Okay.
So you need to explain this right now.
Oh, I don't know how to do it without ruining the bit. Well, what are we supposed to see, Swanson?
This is Marvin Stairmaster from 2017, which is before we started doing this, interestingly enough.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to know about, is how this person exists in 2017.
You got an email from 2017? That's amazing.
I mean, the email is recent, but it says Marvin Stairmaster 2017, so...
Oh. Maybe it's the famous quote from my cousin Marvin. And they were just emailing us to be encouraged.
Maybe. It's
too bad we can't read the email address.
Well, that was the email address. It was Marvin Stairmaster.
Oh.
Well, thanks, Marvin, for your interesting email.
Thanks, buddy.
We're going to definitely keep that in mind. I'm not sure who it was directed towards, but thank you.
It also wasn't a question, but I appreciate the email nonetheless.
If only we knew what to look for.
I guess it was a quip, though, and that is one of the things I say you can send in, so fair.
Also, it sounds like an attempt at prophecy, which is something I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, it's a foresight.
Yeah, actually. Alright, well, with that out of the way, let's get to TV talk. What you guys watch this week? Anything interesting?
I have not watched anything. I have been reading a visual novel.
Uh-oh.
From Japan.
Oh no, is this porn?
No, this is, oddly enough, this is one without sex scenes.
Oh, okay.
Impossible.
Very disappointing.
I've been
Is it good otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you don't get too horny. Which is a big problem for me, as you all know.
I'm confused. There's no sex scenes, but it still makes you horny?
Well, I'm fundamentally horny.
Oh.
I'm intrinsically.
Yeah, sort of at a base level, Stairmaster is horny.
Stairmaster was posting these screenshots of it, and there's like this really nasty old man.
Oh yeah, the man who cried wolf. So
does that make you horny?
No. That just makes me smile. I hope I can be like that when I grow up.
You want to be a nasty old man?
Yes. Who just frightens and confuses everyone around him.
Well, I guess you're like halfway there.
That's what I do on this podcast.
Yeah. Sort of halfway to your destination.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just be nasty and you'll be there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been reading Raging Loop by Kimco.
And
is that a tune in?
That's a tune in. It's a whodunit sort of. It's a sort of what's going on mystery, where this man stumbles into this rural Japanese village while on a cross-country biking trip and gets involved in this ancient murder ritual.
Around these parts, we don't read.
And get this, it's basically a game of werewolf. Except you die if you get hung.
Listen, we don't read here, so let me know when the adaptation comes, okay, buddy?
There'll probably be one. I mean, it'd take it a Western release. So I assume there's like some... I gotta assume there's like some popularity going on here. Anyways, he has to tune in.
There's a guy in a suit talking about it somewhere.
We need to make this.
There's a new acquisition we've acquired, an interesting media property.
Yeah, one final time, I will give a shout out to The Good Place.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. They aired their series finale this past Thursday, and it was delightful.
Oh yeah. So you're glad that it's over?
Am I glad that it's over? Or
you're sad that it's over, but glad that it happened?
Yes. I think I can confidently say that it is the greatest sitcom I've ever watched.
Wow.
That might be a hot take, I don't know. But
okay, now explain why it's better than Community while I load this handgun.
The highs are higher than... Well, the consistency is better than Community.
Okay, I believe you.
And I watched Star Trek Picard.
Oh, I mean, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that later, Keel. But my actual hot take here, if there is one, is that I'm going to say this, and I want your honest reactions. After having watched the finale to The Good Place, I am now convinced Ted Danson is the greatest TV actor of all time.
Well, we have nothing to go off of, so...
I don't know about this Nameson.
Strong doubt.
Look, you can prove me wrong. You can name another TV actor.
Michael Kenneth Williams. I really don't think you should be saying these things in front of the shrine.
Well, it's not finished yet.
It still contains a powerful energy, I think.
Well, I guess I gotta hire some contractors to make a shrine to Ted Danson.
Well, are you gonna do that today? Because that would cause some problems.
I think you can wait.
I guess I'm gonna call. I mean, I can call them and see what their days are. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bob. Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
This is Bob's contracting.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Yeah. I need a contracting job. You got anything today?
Oh yes, we can get in there in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I need like a giant shrine to Ted Danson.
Yes, it'll be very loud though.
That's fine. No problem.
We will use the heaviest of industrial equipment.
That's perfect.
And a lot of it is rusty, so there will be a lot of grating and screeching.
Yeah, I don't got any problems
Swanson,
with that.
ask him about my guys.
All right.
We don't want them fighting.
What was that?
I'll be with you. Boop.
What was that, Kieran?
I was saying, make sure they're not going to fight with my guys. Who are showing up.
I think he hung up on you.
I mean, there's no guarantee, I guess. I mean, that was just, that's just reliable Bob's contracting.
Okay, so now we got 2 more groups of men coming who we don't know if they're going to fight or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only time will tell whether or not any of them will be clashing. Anyway, yeah, at me on Twitter if you don't believe me. Ted Danson is the greatest TV actor of all time.
Fine, I'll take it. I'm not sure who that is, but thank you for your take.
He's Mr. Cheers.
Yes, but he's
Norm?
also Mr. Good Place.
Yeah, he's both Mr. Cheers and Mr. Good Place.
Wow.
So many references to Norm are there?
In The Good Place? None.
So...
Ted Danson is, behind a bar at one point, though.
Wow!
Which apparently took a lot of convincing from the producers of the show to get him to do that, so...
That's powerful, Swanson.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of powerful. Anyway, let's see. That's about it. Keep it sleazy.
Okay. As you know, that's what they say on The Good Place.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, let's move on with the news, huh?
Oh.
Yep. Let's talk about the new events in the grim
Iowa
world of
caucus
television.
is happening this week.
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders is leading by 23%.
No.
Stop saying he's leading by 23%. That makes it sound like he's 23%
Bernie
ahead of Biden.
Sanders is at 23 or 24-ish %, while Biden's like 3 points below that.
That's within the margin of error, isn't it?
Oh. I guess it must be lower.
Well, I meant television news.
Oh, okay.
Well, last week we talked about the sad demise of Mr. Peanut.
Yes.
And
how tragic! What a bold marketing move.
You mean Wesley Snipes, racist?
Yes. Who was the other actor?
Matt Walsh. He's from Stuff.
Yeah, but that's way smaller of a name than Wesley Snipes.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the point, right? It's 2 random people.
Oh, Wesley Snipes is not random.
You think Wesley Snipes and Mr. Peanut have a connection?
No. I mean, it's just you were implying that Wesley Snipes is of no importance.
Look, have we ever seen Wesley Snipes eat peanuts at all in his entire lifetime?
No.
No. I haven't seen all of his movies.
Also, outside of Blade, what has Wesley Snipes done in the last decade?
He hasn't done Blade in the last decade.
Well, the last 2 decades. Okay, so even longer.
Nothing. So, do you think Blade likes peanuts?
No.
I think he hates them. Like, if he weren't hunting vampires, he would hunt peanuts.
I don't think
would he hunt Mr. Peanut himself?
Well, no, he's dead now. Unless he comes back.
I think he
Can
lives...
vampires eat peanuts?
I think they can, yeah.
I think he lives an ascetic lifestyle. You know, no junk food whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think he would even hunt. I don't think he would even hunt one if he didn't have to.
Well, peanuts are not junk food, though.
They're kinda.
They're quite healthy.
I mean, if you cover them with like a bunch of extra salt and sugars,
but is peanut butter good for you?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. There's nothing like wrong with it. Anyway, as we as a nation mourn the death of Mr. Peanut, we have new news that comes from... Yeah?
Is this death even canon since they were going to enter the Super Bowl, but they pulled it?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
I mean, it's Twitter canon, right?
Yeah. So now you might be wondering to yourself, as we did on this very podcast, who exactly came up with this idea and why. But while talking to MSN about the process behind the viral campaign, the company, which premiered it on social channels, the company's owner and group creative director at Planters, and owner of Vayner Media, Mike Parentazzi, said that he was inspired by Avengers Endgame.
What? What?
Of all the things featuring a guy dying.
That's one of them.
Yeah. So spoilers for Endgame for some of you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
They saw Iron Man die, and their immediate thought was,
Well, yes.
What if Mr. Peanut died?
What if we could kill Mr. Peanut. And it was like if Iron Man died. I guess is the thought.
What if we could kill Mr. Peanut? Sounds like something Werner Herzog should be asking.
The question is not should we kill Mr. Peanut. It is when.
Except our death will have no build-up and no payoff.
Why, do you think there should have been a myth arc where he meets Wesley Snipes?
Yes.
And
this should have been a series of commercials where they befriend
where
each
he
other.
sells a car to Wesley Snipes and Matt Walsh.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I mean, the whole point of the death in Endgame being somewhat interesting is that we had a whole series of films leading up to it.
Oh, yeah, this whole series of films, we got to love this character, and he's not going to come back.
Look, we've all loved Mr. Peanut for, 50 years now. Probably longer.
I have not had Mr. Peanut in my radar at all. I've not had an emotional connection to Mr. Peanut.
You never bought a can of Planters and been like, look at this guy.
Is that what you consider a connection?
Yeah, it's a delightful connection. Cool.
Well, if that's the standard, then you know what, Swanson? I did have a connection with Mr. Peanut because I have looked at him and been like, that's a mascot, all right.
And apparently Pierantazzi also thought that. He's listed here as quoting as quote, "We started talking about how the internet treats when someone dies. Specifically, we were thinking about fictional characters like Iron Man, or like when Iron Man died. When Iron Man died, we saw an incredible reaction on Twitter and on social media. It's such a strange phenomenon."
You know, I saw more people caring about Spider-Man dying in Infinity War than anything in Endgame. Like, the Captain America stuff seemed to get people more than the Iron Man.
Captain America didn't die.
I know, but it was more heart. It was more heart.
More heart.
Did he die or just get really old? I don't remember.
He got really old, but he got that happy ending he had been denied the whole time. He got to go spend the majority of his life with his sweetheart from the war.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently some people connected with Iron Man dying.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone?
Yes.
Oh. I guess Swanson's in the know. I guess he's our normie correspondent.
I mean, like a good number of people who watched Endgame were like, "Oh no, I can't believe Iron Man died." Not me, because I'm Team Cap all the way, baby. But, and I will confirm that is America's ass.
I get the rep.
Anyway, the quote continues: "What would happen, and how would the world react if he passed away?" The answer is apparently indifference.
Mr. Peanut.
Did they think that? Was there anyone at any of these meetings being like, "We're going to get made fun of if we do this"?
No. It turns out that was a poor take on their part.
Yeah, this is like the most boardroom meeting ad campaign I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
bar none.
100%.
Because we need to get to the rest of this because the boardroom attitude of this is just off the charts.
Anyway, Planters apparently intended to air a funeral during Super Bowl, which, as of this recording, has already happened. And there is a commercial that we're going to talk about in a second. But I don't know if it's the commercial they originally planned, because apparently there were rumors that they decided to suspend the campaign after Kobe Bryant's death.
But they did air the funeral.
They did air a funeral of sorts.
I'm not sure what the plan was exactly, because I don't know. The whole thing was really on social media, and then there was going to be an additional ad, I think, on Super Bowl.
I think it was like Swanson said, they were going to introduce Miss Peanut.
That was the only
huge jugs
and instead
childbearing hips.
Instead, we got the next best thing. Keo, do you want to describe this ad for us?
Okay. I'll do my best to do justice to this advertisement.
Now, we're not really talking about much of what happened during the Super Bowl this week, but we did notice
the Chiefs won.
Yeah. I mean, that's never something we discuss, but sure. But this is something that we noticed, and we feel like we had to talk about.
So, they're at the funeral for Mr. Peanut, and Mr. Clean and the Kool-Aid guy are both there.
When Swanson sold me on this commercial, he neglected to mention the Kool-Aid Man, thinking I would care more about Mr. Clean.
Well, we talked about Mr. Clean. We did not talk about the Kool-Aid Man.
Still, it's the Kool-Aid Man.
So I don't know what kind of bizarre marketing gambit this was, but it was more baffling than anything else to me.
It's called brand synergy, Keel, right? Keep with the times.
Yeah, because when I think of products that go together, I think peanuts, sugar water, and cleaning products.
Honestly, it would have made more sense.
Well, when you eat the peanuts and then drink the sugar water, you're gonna need those cleaning products.
Well, what? Is it gonna make you shit yourself?
I mean, I don't know.
So, the Kool-Aid guy is distraught over the death of Mr. Peanut, and he's weeping over his grave.
He says, "Oh yeah," very sadly.
Yeah.
And Mr. Peanut is apparently
Resurrected,
reincarnated by the Kool-Aid Man's tears, and we see a baby born from the boardroom. We see baby Mr. Peanut.
Yes. Yeah.
I think they were planning this the whole time, ever since the Baby Yoda thing happened.
Yes, exactly. They were like, Baby Yoda?
So this
What if Baby Nut?
And nobody would want to see Mr. Peanut as a dad.
Yeah, true. So he's reborn.
This is probably the brainstorming process behind it. They were saying we have two options. One of them is that he's reincarnated. The other one is that he gets down with the ladies.
Miss Peanut.
And they're like, no. If you listen to me clearly, the guidebook clearly says Mr. Peanut does not fuck.
We have not drawn a dick on his for the last 50 years.
If Mr. Peanut cannot fuck, then he must be reborn as a child.
You'll rise from the ashes like the phoenix.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So where did it come in, like in this commercial where he decides to start talking in dolphin noises?
They said, okay, we've already got the wacky random Kool-Aid guy and Mr. Clean there. This is hilarious already, but we need another joke. What if we have Baby Peanut do something crazy and wacky to catch the audience off guard, but then say just kidding afterwards and then be totally normal and have its personality back?
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds good.
Maybe. Perhaps it's because peanuts are shaped like dolphins.
We need a good... expand on that.
They're both kind of ovalish shaped.
Uh-huh.
And
Both have fins and little mouths that look like they're smiling.
Yeah, and they both float.
Do you say kidney beans are also shaped like dolphins?
A little bit. Not as much. Not as much as the baby nut.
Where does the fin on a peanut?
When it's molting. The fins are the little parts of the shell that flake off.
Alright, sure. So my favorite part for this, of course, is the part where you're like, oh, we need a hashtag for this. What could we do? Something that sounds vaguely insulting. Hashtag baby nut.
Wait, vaguely insulting. I think it might be something else.
Well, vaguely arousing? Is that what you're saying, Stairmaster?
Whoa! No!
Alright, well, what were you thinking?
Vaguely inappropriate?
I thought the joke was that it wasn't vaguely insulting and that it was just really stupid.
Hashtag baby nut? It sounds like it could be an insult.
Well, they definitely wanted to go for the hashtag baby Yoda, but baby Mr. Peanut was just too lengthy.
They said baby Mr. Peanut, too long. Baby Peanut? No, that'll never work. How about baby nut? That way everyone who uses our hashtag can be on a government watch list.
I would be okay with people who use the hashtag baby nut getting drone striked.
Oh, controversial take, but fair.
Even ironically.
Yeah, that's going on the take board.
So, yeah, it looks like Mr. Peanut's back, and he's a baby. Hashtag baby nut.
What will this mean for the future of the brand?
I guess we'll continue to not think about it.
Do you think they're going to print baby Mr. Peanut on the Planters products now?
Yeah, which means that now instead of looking at it and going, look at this guy, I'll go, look at this fucking guy.
Do you think it would have made more sense for Mr. Clean's tears to resurrect Mr. Peanut?
No, I think Mr. Clean's tears would have wiped him off the face of the planet.
It's like holy water.
Yeah, his tears are so purifying.
Also, was Mr. Clean crying? I don't recall.
No, he's a stern.
Masculine.
Yeah, he's a
There
stern
should have been
man.
like 40 housewives behind him in the commercial. With the implication he brought them all here.
Yeah, they're all of his various wives.
Well, they're someone's wives.
Hey, look, he's Mr. Clean, okay?
Mr. is just a title.
Yeah, it has no correlation to marital status whatsoever, Swanson.
True. I'm just saying, the Mr. I mean, either he's a
Okay.
teacher or he's like...
Mr. kind of implies he's an upstanding
Okay, maybe
guy.
he is Muslim or Mormon. Probably Muslim.
Expand on that.
He kind of does look like a bald Muslim guy if you look at his facial features.
Do you think the white guy
Like
looks
how he has kind of bushy eyebrows?
Yes, exactly that.
So
I
the
guess.
white man with bushy eyebrows looks like a Muslim?
I mean, race is bullshit.
True.
So you can easily kind of look like you're Muslim even if you have the Caucasian DNA.
I guess. In the same way that like
Not
Jesus
that there really is any.
in the same way that Jesus is Middle Eastern but always looks white in pictures.
Yeah, sure, exactly. If the white folk get Jesus, then the Arab folk get Mr. Clean.
Oh,
Look,
yeah,
does
fair trade.
Mr. Clean Arab Twitter put a turban on Mr. Clean's head?
There's only one way to find out.
I'm sure there's plenty of fan art of Mr. Clean praying to Allah.
All right. Well, I'm sure Stairmaster will interrupt me with this in a few minutes, but let's move on.
Oh, Google isn't helping.
Well, now that that's settled, let's talk about Peacock, NBC's
Again?
hilariously named streaming service. Last week we talked about the Saved by the Bell reboot, but this week it's time for us to talk about The Premise. It's officially been released along with a cast of characters. The cast isn't really important because it's a list of who cares. It's the premise that's important, baby. Also, it's an excuse to say that, Stairmaster sounds like that guy from that show.
John Barenthal?
No, you sound like the guy from this show.
Skeeter?
Yeah, Skeeter.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Doug.
That was a really disheartened honk honk from Skeeter.
It's what he says when he's sad. He goes, hey, Doug. That might actually be a joke from Doug. I don't know.
Alright, what's the premise?
All right. Well, the premise is Mark Paul Gosselaar, the person who played titular shithead Zack Morris from the original Saved by the Bell, is now governor of California.
Oh
Okay, I like where this is going.
And after Governor Zack Morris shuts down schools,
no! What?
hold on, he
He's
shuts
a
down.
Republican?
Well, maybe. So the premise is that Governor Zack Morris's son, Mac, will be going to will be sharing his high school with a bunch of low-income high school students who get sent off to the prestigious Bayside High after Governor Zack Morris shuts down the schools that the poor kids go to.
Oh no.
An idea that's only good in practice. An idea that's only good in theory and never good in practice.
I'm sure that they'll handle this with the deft and grace
Yes.
that David Simon wielded when writing season 4 of The Wire.
They're not going to show up and cause mischief there because they're delinquents,
Yeah.
right?
I'm sure, right? It's not going to be a problem or anything. I'm sure the principal's going to be like Skeeter or something.
It's going to be Skeeter.
And then like Mario Lopez will be there and he'll be like, whoa! Or whatever they do in Saved by the Bell.
Do you think the actual principal will be dead?
I think he is dead.
Oh, so they'll be like a mausoleum that they go to.
Yeah, if not, it'll be like a Mr. Feeney situation in that Boy Meets World spinoff where he's just like casually there but has no reason to be there because he's 80 years old.
Yeah.
Anyway, it remains to be seen what we can expect from this show other than it probably not being good, just like the original Saved by the Bell.
I can't wait to watch this on the pod.
I don't know why people in my high school were watching Saved by the Bell and then talking to me about it.
It's because you sound like that guy, Skeeter.
Oh, well, yeah, I did know that second part.
Yeah, I remember Stair was telling me back in high school the experience he had where he was walking down the street and then 3 guys jumped from the shadows and landed in front of him.
Yeah, they came up to you and they said, "Hey, you watch Saved by the Bell?"
I can't even actually remember this episode. All I know is that intellectually someone called me Skeech from Saved by the Bell. I don't know who. I don't even know if it was a peer from high school. It might have been a guy online.
It's just somewhere deep in your subconscious.
I do remember vividly the time I got Keel to do my high school programming homework, and he typed in the header, "I love gay penises," and didn't tell me. And then I turned that in to my teacher.
Well, that was trying to teach you to look over the work you had someone else do for you.
That's usually how that works.
Well, I did learn.
Also, I tried to tell you, but you were already gone.
Yeah, it worked out real well.
Your teacher was very understanding of it, though.
He was like, "Huh?" Yeah, he wrote that in the comments. And he penned it on the side.
Did he I was imagining a scenario.
He did not even talk to me about it.
I was imagining a scenario where he was like, "Do you need to see the guidance counselor?"
No, I didn't even get that.
Like, what did he write exactly? Just like a question mark?
He was like, "Huh? Yes." Quote unquote.
Like HUH question mark all lowercase?
Like so many of the older generation when confronted
2
with
question marks.
like so many of the older generation when confronted with the possibility of homosexuality, they sort of
I got another story like that. In middle school, we were doing writing prompts for English, and the prompt for the day was, "Talk about the time you met someone different from you." So I wrote about the trans person I met on a Dragon Ball Z role-playing board.
Damn.
And they immediately panicked and called my parents.
Oh my god.
That's because I spoke to a trans person.
Look, it's very dangerous.
This was in 2006.
What did they have to say about
No
this
one knows
exactly?
what this person could have been thinking. They might have even liked the Boo Saga.
I don't think I mentioned the Dragon Ball Z part.
A dangerous psychopath if there ever was one.
Look, fellas, the Boo Saga was okay. It had some good moments. Even if it was a mess.
Far too long.
It goes by better if you're reading the manga.
Well, that's a good.
I'll buy you the Viz Big edition, Swanson.
That's actually a pretty good segue, Stairmaster, from one anime to another, or an adaptation of it, rather. What was that, buddy?
Oh,
You doing an anime theme song?
No, I'm just excited about hearing about the next show.
Oh yeah, because you love anime.
Yeah.
Netflix's descent into adapting all of your favorite animes continues, as they recently reported that they have ordered a live-action...
Don't give it up, Swanson!
a live-action adaptation of One Piece. That's right, that show that's really exaggeratedly...
See how this is gonna go.
This is the worst idea of all time.
You know, the show that's really exaggeratingly animated and like sort of...
Yes, very larger than life.
Yeah, make it live action.
They're gonna make this gritty and down to earth.
And also doesn't have an ending. Still ongoing.
Yeah, make that into a show. This show is being produced by Tomorrow Studios, the same company producing the Netflix's live-action Cowboy Bebop.
Oh.
So that they do not have a track record yet?
So I assume that Luffy will be horrifically injured on set, delaying production.
Yeah, because someone will try and actually stretch his arms.
The actor who plays Zoro will cut his mouth on the sword.
Yeah. I, for one, am really looking forward to seeing Luffy use his superpowers twice a season. Like, it's gonna...
No, here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go through... For most of the season, he has not eaten the fruit yet.
Oh, no!
He hasn't even eaten the fruit?
Yeah,
Isn't he?
it's just like with the Marvel Netflix where they don't put on the suit for.
So it's
like, 10
literally
episodes.
just the first chapter of the manga.
Wait, he didn't eat the fruit until the first chapter in the manga?
Yes.
Okay.
He got it from Shanks.
Well, I thought, I never read One Piece, to be fair. I just assumed that it had started, in media res with him already having his powers.
I mean, it kind of cuts to the present with him being a fully fledged, ready to pirate boy at the end.
They do not spend very much time at all with him not having the power.
I mean, after 1,000 chapters in, they go to a flashback when he's learning to use the power, and he's hanging out with his big bro.
Yeah, I mean, apparently this series has been in development since 2017. Netflix just recently purchased the rights to it, so...
I got so many questions.
Yeah?
Who's gonna be on... What? Are they gonna include all the Straw Hats? Are they gonna composite some of them? Are we gonna get Frankie, the cyborg man?
I don't know, isn't he from pretty far into the show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is probably... they're gonna want to get... I feel like they're gonna skip some stuff.
No, they're probably going to cover just, the first arc or something.
So what? We'll just get, Clown D Buggy?
Yeah, probably.
And, I guess they'll go to that stupid restaurant on the sea and meet Sanji.
Does everyone have a middle initial in One Piece?
No, only some of them have the middle initial D, which is have actually some serious significance, but it's not explained what. At least where I cut off.
Also, Luffy's hat is the One Piece, by the way.
Oh.
There is the fan theory that it came from Gold D. Roger, also who has the D in his name.
So everybody's after the D.
Maybe.
I mean,
There's
I know they're
also a
after the
running
One
current
Piece,
of,
but...
a missing 100 years in the world history of a lost civilization.
How much longer is One Piece going to go on?
Probably at least 8 years.
Do you think by then the creator will be dead?
Yeah, he only gets 4 hours of sleep a week, I think.
And we'll get at least by the time One Piece ends, we're going to get at least 20 new chapters of Hunter x Hunter.
I think recently they did a flashback chapter of Gold D. Roger about to find One Piece, so they might actually be getting close to the end. So yeah, there's a guy with Don't Give It Up Zoro. Don't give it up Sanji. Don't give it up Usopp.
So there's a lot of recurring titles in One Piece.
No, I think it's just the D thing.
Well, you just said "Don't give it up" 5 times.
No, that's the rap song Keel is referencing.
Don't give it up, Stairmaster.
What happens if you give it up?
Sorry, I'm a little excited about people giving things up. It's not going to be good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, don't give it up, because they're all pursuing their dreams, Swanson. Each character has their own dream.
Wow, when you think about it, it's a really aspirational show. Sort of like The Good Place. Yeah. It's the good place of anime, would you say?
A little bit.
Yeah, let me tell you a brief summary of the characters' dreams.
Yeah, sure.
Luffy, the main character, wants to find the One Piece.
He wants to be the king of the pirates.
And he wants to find the One Piece and be king of the pirates.
Same.
Sanji, the cook guy, wants to make the perfect hamburger.
Well, okay, who doesn't?
Maybe the 4 Kids version. He just wants to be the best chef.
Wait, the 4 Kids version just makes he wants to make the perfect hamburger?
I don't know. It's been so long.
I was going to ask because I was pretty sure hamburgers aren't huge in Japan.
They like them there.
I think he's trying to find special ingredients.
He wants to find the magic spices.
Oh. So it's like the European colonizers.
All right, what about the rest?
Yeah. Zoro, the sword guy, he wants to be able to use 4 swords at once.
No, he wants to be the world's greatest swordsman.
Same thing.
Okay.
I'm noticing
there's a girl there. Her name is Nami. She wants to, steal something.
I forgot what her deal was.
Yeah, sounds like a shonen, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's the most popular shonen.
There's the little moose man.
Chopper.
He wants to
He's not a moose, he's a reindeer.
He was a little moose man. He wants to bandage people or something.
Oh, he wants to become a doctor.
Oh, I've seen this. He's like a deer who's a doctor.
Yes, he's a reindeer.
Yeah. And there's a robo. His name is Frankie, and he's a robot. He wants to be a big robo man.
He wants to be the best robot.
I think he's like trying to be the best. You're trying to invent something?
All right, so what I'm getting from this is the picture that all of these
Wait, hold
characters
on, we
have
didn't
very
get to this-
different and defining goals,
We
which are
didn't
that
get
they
to
want to
the
be the
musical
best of
skeleton-
the thing that they are.
We didn't get to the musical
dead,
skeleton man.
Oh, what's he
There's a
want to be,
dead
the
guy
best
who-
musician?
I think he's just glad to have friends against it.
Also, was this made
For
before...
several centuries.
Was the musical Skeleton Man made before or after Coco?
I think it was back in around 2006.
Oh, wow, they stole the Coco. Pixar stole the idea from One Piece.
Yes.
He wants to have the best hair.
Well, he already has the best hair. He has an afro.
Well, he wants it an even bigger one.
Same. I want a big afro.
Oh, and also,
And that's the whole crew.
also there's the other lady.
No, that's the whole crew.
No, there's the other lady.
What do you think? What do you think ignores women more, Shonen or Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is basically Dragon Ball Z.
Expand on that.
He thinks women should build gadgets, and that's it.
And there was also that one time he beat up that lady at the rally, and it was really violent.
Oh yeah, he powered up.
Oh yeah, like that was like that 5-minute scene where he was just brutalizing that poor woman.
Yeah, and Lee Carter tried to intervene, but
So wait, Bernie
the
Sanders
rest of
isn't
the DSA
even
held him back.
Bernie Sanders isn't even Goku. He's whoever the hell
No,
that guy was.
He's Popovich. Bernie Sanders is Popovich, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is Yamu.
I'm Bernie Spopovich.
Where did he come up with the name Spopovich?
I don't know. Do you think it was because it sounded vaguely Jewish?
Oh no. Akira Toriyama, you are exposed.
Canceled.
All right. Well, that's it for the news. So it's time for a segment. Yeah, that's it for the news.
Okay.
So it's time for a segment near and dear to everyone's hearts. Ads. That's right. Well, yeah. Stairmasters, right?
Swanson, give me the cigarettes.
All right, here you go.
Please, Daddy needs his smokes.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick smoke break, but before we do...
I'm going to take a smoke break.
All right, we'll do it.
Put all the cigarettes in at once. Here I go.
Hey, how about I use my lit cigarette to light the cigarette in your mouth?
Ooh, that sounds a little sensual.
Oh, just us being friends.
All right, well, while you two do that, I'm going to talk about Big Heads Media, our podcasting home. There's tons of great other podcasts that you can find there, like one that you're about to listen to in a second, Crazy Train of Thought. It's an improvisational podcast from a couple of wacky guys talking about stuff. Take a listen.
All right, everybody on the train, all aboard. You snooze, you lose.
Buy my loot boxes?
Not you. Get off the train. Don't let him on.
Oh, okay.
All right, listen here, Greenhorn. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about how to conduct a podcast. First thing you need to know is never stay on topic, ever.
Sir?
What do you want?
People are complaining about the Venom movie still.
I don't care. Feed them Justice League or something. Get them off my back.
Copy.
Sir, it says in the book that you need to stay on topic as a podcast.
Screw the book, Greenhorn. The book was written by dinosaurs. Second thing you need to know is never report news that's not at least 2 or 3 weeks old.
Sir?
What do you want?
People are complaining about the Pokemon Go update.
I don't care. Just gag them or something. Shut them up.
On it.
Sir,
What do you want, Greenhorn?
I think the train might be going off the rails.
That's exactly how we run this show. This is the Crazy Train of Thought podcast, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
www.crazytrainofthought.com.
Those guys.
They're sure all wild.
I hate
Hey,
it.
Stair, what if we accidentally kissed?
Oh,
That would be funny.
I feel like I would relieve tons of tension that all of our fans have been waiting for.
Okay, but what if I tripped and kissed Swanson at the last moment instead?
Our fans would be enraged. That's the ship. That's the ship that they don't want.
Yeah, no one ships me with you.
Yeah, like they ship me and Kyorain, and they ship you and Kyorain, but never me and you.
Yeah, because we're two tall, gangly dudes. You
Yeah.
can't. That's like
I mean, is
peanut butter and peanut butter.
5'11" gangly?
Oh, wow. Swanson confesses to being a manlet.
At a slightly
Oh,
above
look at
average
this tiny
height.
Look at this tiny little boy.
I recently unearthed some medical documents, and apparently I've been mistaken about my height. I'm 5'10", according
What?
to this paper.
I thought you were 6'3".
What?
What?
Since when?
I thought you were 6'1", actually.
Did you just assume Keel was like a basketball player? You
No,
racist?
I had memories of Keo saying he was 6'1". Or maybe you said
No,
you were 6'1", Swanson.
No.
For the longest time, I thought I was 6'0".
Oh.
But
Well,
you're
see, I was
actually
only out
a
5'1".
whole 2 inches shorter.
So I'm the big boy.
Well, yeah, you've always been the big boy. Big boy,
Yeah,
small
you're Piccolo.
attitude.
That's not the only small thing. I got
You're Piccolo, Swanson's Goku, and I'm Vegeta.
Yeah, that makes sense. It used to be that Keo was Goku and I was Vegeta, but now the turntables have turned.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's Piccolo. I'm the fan favorite.
For a little bit.
Also,
Well, Goku's just John Cena.
I'm curious if I was just measured differently different times or what, because I remember being measured at 6 feet before. Maybe I was slouchy.
2 inches is like a
or
huge
something.
difference too. To miss.
I know. I'm
think-
so confused by it.
I think the doctor is jealous or bitter.
The doctor who marked
Yeah,
him
that-
higher or lower.
Oh,
I'll teach
I
him.
think the
He'll be
second
taller.
I think the second time they just made Keo shorter.
Yeah, that probably makes more
back at him.
sense. All right. Well, if you're interested in any of these podcasts, go over to bigheadsmedia.com and check them out.
Also, alarmingly, on this document I have no pulse, so...
Oh. Well, that seems normal for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you got no pulse.
Yeah.
On current events.
That's right. And now it's time for a segment truly near and dear to everyone's hearts. It's Trailer Blazers. Hit the theme, Keo.
Bum ba bum 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 bum.
Dun dun da da da. Dun dun da da da.
No.
Dun dun
No.
da da
No.
da 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 da
No.
da.
We're gonna get
Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Wow, Stair got copyright added. Alright, well, welcome to Trailer Blazers, where we talk about the latest and greatest in TV trailers. This week, we're talking about an old friend.
Oh?
Yeah.
David Simon.
No. Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman.
Our boy!
Saul Goodman's coming back, and he's bringing all of his buddies. Mike's there, and Gus is there, and Nacho is there, I think. Yeah, you see Nacho.
Yes.
And Lalo is there, but we're all too scared to talk about him.
I don't want to talk about that guy. He's scarier than the contractors I hired.
This first shot of this trailer, guys.
Yeah?
My prediction? Saul just found a bomb in the courtroom.
Wow. You think?
I mean, a shot like that.
Yeah, it's a very sort of nervous
It's a
energy.
very yeah, it's like a Michael Bay slow-mo. Shit just got real style shot.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't describe it as a Michael Bay shot, but...
I don't know why I said Michael Bay.
Michael Bay is not what I think of when I think of Vince Gilligan's art style.
Anyways, that courtroom is going to get bombed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
Also, our friend Hank is here.
Yeah, we get a Hank cameo. What do you think about that, Keel Rain?
He's going to be a major player this season. He's gonna kill Gus.
I think he's going to kill Saul.
You don't think it's just like a weird cameo?
I don't know. Why would they bring him in for a cameo?
For laughs.
I mean, they brought Lydia in for a little bit.
And they also brought in Walt for El Camino.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like him, like hilariously missing the mark and not catching on to anything?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably. That seems to be his whole thing throughout his entire life.
Yeah.
Or it'll be him, like, just committing police brutality.
Odds are it's that Saul is representing someone that he doesn't like. And he's like, the fuck? You're a fucking scumbag. When you think about it, I just thought of this. I don't know if this has ever crossed your guys' mind, but when you think about it, Hank sounds a whole lot like Alex Jones.
A little bit.
Fuck you, fucking scumbag!
I'm gonna put you under the jail.
Get over here, asshole!
The fuck did you just say to me, you fucking asshole?
They're making drugs in the laundromat!
They're fucking minerals!
Oh, man. If only Breaking Bad was in the zeitgeist again.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, we get a lot of fun shots here. There's Mike also we get Mike beating up people like he's Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino.
Yeah, Mike knows how to get punched properly.
Yeah.
Does Clint Eastwood beat people up in Gran Torino?
I thought he did.
I think his superpower is just having a gun in that film.
Oh yeah, they're like, we can't. There's nothing else we can do. This person has a gun.
Which is how it goes in most real life situations, I believe.
Yeah, I guess that's true. See the first episode of Trailer Park Boys for an example.
It do be like that.
Oh man, I missed that show. I need to watch it again.
But yeah, there's a lot of fun shots in here. We get like Gus looking threatening. You get, like,
There seems to be some sort of parlay.
Yeah, there's a lot of. There's a fun little shot of the one we've seen in a couple teasers before of all of the cars.
Fair.
Yeah, Saul.
I assume that
the
Saul will be chasing a terrorist through there.
You're
a Passenger 11.
You're expecting Saul to do a lot of action stuff this season.
Yeah, something he's never displayed in any of the series.
I know, that's because the show's coming to an end. Bob Odenkirk needs to put his action.
Okay, but we're gonna ramp down his behavior from this prequel to the actual show.
I mean, that's what they did for the Star Wars prequels. All the lightsaber duels were more grounded.
Yeah, that's true. But that's also because the two people who were lightsaber dueling were like way different in style.
I don't want this to be compared to the Star Wars prequels, please.
Oh, I do hope there is a lightsaber duel.
Well, we'll probably have to wait until season 6 for that. Until then, we have Mike beating up people.
The duel between Jimmy and Kim.
Yes, the duel of the fates.
That's what happens to Kim. She gets her legs chopped off and she catches on fire.
Don't worry, though. She'll be back as like with metal spider legs or whatever.
Okay.
That's what happens to Darth Maul.
I guess that's the things happen in Star Wars, huh?
I was literally talking about Vader.
Oh. Oh yeah, I guess that makes more sense. Don't worry, she'll be back in a giant metal suit. I can't wait for the end of Better Call Saul, where it flashes forward and Darth Vader meets with Jean at the Cinnabon. Darth Kim.
And the Emperor is Kevin Costner.
Oh, alright.
It's all gone as according to my expectations.
I was gonna say the Emperor was like, I don't know, Howard Hamlin or something.
No.
So,
Howard
was this answered? Does the flash forwards in Better Call Saul take place after El Camino?
I don't think it would really matter.
I guess at the same time, probably.
I guess it would take place at the same time.
No, it takes place. It definitely takes place after because he seems firmly implanted in that setting.
Yeah, that would have been like what? Yes, that would have been multiple years. It seems.
Or at least, at least a month. At least
well,
a
El
couple
Camino's
months.
only like 1 year.
Yeah.
Plus some change.
So they can still reveal that Walter is actually alive.
Do you think that guy driving the taxi thought that Saul was Kevin Costner?
Hold on.
That's why you recognized him?
Maybe. But also, Keo, what was that thing you said?
I said they can still reveal that Walter's still alive.
Listen, buddy, I know we didn't cover it on the podcast or anything, but we all watched El Camino. They confirm he's dead.
Yeah, through a clip, a sound clip on the radio.
It's all like a whole scene where we get to see
protective custody.
Yeah, it's all like a whole scene where we get to see Jesse's expression go from worried to relief for a brief second.
Yeah, because he thinks Walter's alive. Because the people on TV or the radio thought he was dead, but he's actually alive.
This might confirm the theory where at the very end of the end credits of El Camino, you can hear someone say, "I'm back."
That's the El Camino talking, Swanson.
Look, don't count Walter out. He's going to show up at the Cinnabon.
What would you have done if they had just switched the roles of the roles of Jane and Walter and the
Same dialogue and everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would have just been.
I would be
and
interested in
disturbed.
David Lynch's El Camino. That's all I'll say.
What year is it?
It'd be fun. I think it would be fun if Walt was alive, because then we could end Better Call Saul with Saul defending Walt in court.
Ah, yes.
See?
What it's all been leading up to, a completely indefensible case.
Even though Saul's definitely a defendant in that case himself.
Yes.
This is how he proves that he's a great lawyer, and that Chuck was full of shit.
Your Honor, I'm representing myself.
He gets them both fully acquitted.
Yes.
Like Chuck's ghost smiles in the distance.
Chuck's like, well, I guess he was a good lawyer after all.
I don't think he thought he was a bad lawyer. I thought he was an unscrupulous lawyer who's gonna get a drug lord acquitted.
And it turns out he was right.
Okay. And then it ends with Walt exiting the courtyard and immediately being gunned down by some European guys.
That's not how it sounds like an episode of Law and Order.
No, that's set up for the next season of Breaking Bad.
All right. Well, only time
Sometimes I still have dreams about Breaking Bad where there's a season 6 and Walt's alive.
Oh, well, here's my pitch for season 6. You ready for this, guys?
What?
Walt is dead, but now he's gone to hell, and he's gonna break bad there.
Oh man!
You think you could face Gus Fring? Wait till he faces Satan.
What is Satan? It's just Gus Fring.
Well, it's voiced by Giancarlo Esposito, but it is just a giant red demon.
No, it should just be a giant Gus Fring.
And get this: if he completes Satan's challenges, he can go back to Earth.
He also oddly calls himself Mr. Satan. That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, you can't.
Anyway, only time will tell if any of this happens in the new season of Better Call Saul. We'll find out in a few scant weeks.
I can't wait.
Until then,
I will wait.
Yeah, we'll all have to muddle through life somehow.
You know what I really can't wait for, though, is the main event of the podcast this week.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna get into it right now, Keel, right? It's time for our main event. We watched Star Trek Picard. One of the potential people that I could imagine you saying is one of the best TV actors of all time, Patrick Stewart, returning.
Who's you?
People on Twitter, because I said at me on Twitter about Ted Danson.
No,
you people.
I thought you were,
you people.
You people meaning you Star Trek fans who are going to say, Patrick Stewart, the best TV actor of all time.
That's exactly what they sound like.
And I'm going to say, wrong.
When Swanson did that, for some reason I envisioned somebody on Twitter with his picture is that picture of Kermit drinking tea.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly who I was. Yeah, that's exactly who it
correct.
was. All right, let's get into it, boys. So Star Trek Picard finds our beloved Captain Jean-Luc Picard,
TV icon.
Patrick Stewart, back at the helm for a new take on Star Trek, quote unquote. Yeah. So we open up. He's having a poker dream, as you do.
A poker game.
Well,
he's dreaming about Data.
Spoilers.
Yeah, he's dreaming of Data, and he asks him, "Do you dream of electric sheep, Data?"
I thought you were doing something very problematic for a second.
Okay. And Data's like, "No,
I mean.
of course not. I'm a robot." And then Mars explodes, and he wakes up.
That's very abridged, but yes.
Yeah, well, why is Picard dreaming so much about Data?
I mean, they were.
Did Data put his consciousness in Picard's head, and make him dream about him or something?
Oh, I guess that's a possibility, but
I think the show writers just overestimate how good friends they were.
I mean, they were pretty good friends.
They were good friends, but I don't think he would be having all these.
You don't think?
Listen, I've never had a platonic friend who I would dream about that much.
Even if that friend of yours sacrificed his life for you?
Yes.
So if I sacrificed my life for you to prevent you from dying at the hands of a Borg invasion or whatever the fuck happens.
I would not have
Nemesis.
nightly dreams about you, no.
I would probably just have, I would have dreams, but they would be like horrible flashbacks, not this longing sort of thing going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it remains to be seen whether or not this is like part of it. I guess since there are also like weird visions that the lady is having of Picard.
I think they're lovers. I think
because honestly, if this was a woman he's dreaming about, we would all think of it as just romantic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there is
and even here, it seems very kind of romantic.
I mean, yeah, he pictures him painting at one point.
Yeah, but we're still in a very heteronormative society, so it's kind of hard to read that subtext out of it without questioning it.
As you know, Star Trek is known for being very regressive and backwards thinking.
Yes, nothing progressive about Star Wars or Star Trek.
Well, I didn't see anything progressive. I didn't see anything overtly progressive about this episode watched because the inciting incident was a black man dying.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was also that's in my notes, which is fun black dude is dead within a minute. He was like having a fun time, like being a cool, charming dude. Then all of a sudden he dies.
I feel like the show made a point of executing him like that.
Yeah, he got stabbed in the chest immediately on screen, and then was just dead.
So paint a picture, Swanson.
All right, so we cut from Patrick Stewart in France with his vineyard. We cut to Seattle, and this lady and this guy who was what the fuck did they call him?
He was like some sort of human offshoot. He had cyborg eyes.
Yeah, there's a specific name for them that I cannot recall, but
oh man, we're gonna get so many tweets.
Probably. Oh, it's Xahean. How would you say that? A Zayan?
Zayan?
Yeah, he's a super Zayan. He must not be that super. He's a Zayan, and they're having like a cute little like thing, and he's like being a cool. He seems interesting. Like I want to see more of what this dude's up to. Turns out,
he was gonna like molecularly create a frosty shake.
Yeah.
He was a better actor than this lady.
Oh yes,
with his like 30 seconds of dialogue.
But no, instead, random people show up and immediately throw a knife into his heart.
Rest in peace.
Luckily for our female lead here, she knows karate and is able to immediately subdue them because they've activated her.
I was getting some serious Firefly vibes here, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it does feel kind of Firefly, and I did like it. No, I mean I didn't like it as strong. So yeah, at that point, I was already a little iffy on this show.
The choreography is okay, but the camera work doesn't really elevate it, so it's kind of flat.
Yeah, so then she starts mourning over her dead boyfriend.
Who we can't remember the name of.
Yeah, he didn't have a name.
He's literally just black guy in the credits.
I mean, I don't know if that's the case, but like he doesn't have a name.
No, Keel, his name is Space Black Guy.
Yeah.
Close enough.
He doesn't have a name as far as I can tell. The lady's named Dodge, and she mourns over him and then has a vision of old man Picard. And she's like, huh? And
I must find this daddy.
Yeah. So we find out that Picard is being set to do his first interview with a news program since he left Starfleet. Which, this begs a question for me. Does Starfleet just, like, not have retirement? This dude's 80 years old.
Well, they do say retired several times in the show, so...
Yeah, but it's more like a he chose to retire thing. Like, is it like a thing where, like, you can keep just doing Starfleet stuff until you're...
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about your brain going to mush.
I think he probably chose to become an old man because shouldn't they have, like, cured aging by that point in time?
No, I don't think so.
You would have thought... Well, this is, to be clear, Keel, and I don't know if it says it in the show. This is the year 2385.
And I think in Star Trek, usually when people figure out immortality, they go insane.
Yeah,
or it's too good, and the secret it's too powerful for man to handle, so they must destroy it.
Yeah, you know who tried to figure out immortality, Keel?
Who?
Khan!
Okay, well, I don't know the lore behind it, but science fiction wise, I don't really think it makes sense for him to be like super dying old at 80 at that point in time. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it does seem like he kind of wants to die.
I mean, we don't know the calendar. We don't know how many years after TNG this is.
Yeah, true. I'm not.
So he
I'm
might
not
be in
up
his
on the
hundreds,
calendar
actually.
Here.
I think, yeah, he might be in his hundreds for all we know.
Yeah, I'm going by Patrick Stewart's real life age.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we get this this news reporter who's like going real hard on him.
She's from Space Fox News.
Yeah, but don't worry, we get Picard owning the fake news reporter.
But not as hard as you'd like. I think like back in TNG days, she would be like completely destroyed, but instead he just walks off, and she doesn't seem very plussed about it.
I don't know. He makes it pretty clear that his character is in the right by making a point of stating that regardless of whether or not they were Romulans, they were in fact human. They were in fact people, and therefore not deserving of mass extinction. Anyway, the Romulan supernova is apparently a thing from the Star Trek reboot.
Yes, with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, so that's a
and
fun.
Leonard Nimoy.
That's a fun thing to get brought back into canon. But hey, whatever. I guess you can't really expect much since one of the co-producers for that movie is one of the co-producers for this. But yeah, so he talks about how there's like the synthetics, which are what Data is. There was an attack on one of
They set Mars on fire.
Yeah, and
killed all the Romulan refugees, it seems, or at least most of them.
A good amount, because the people who killed Daj's boyfriend are Romulans. Well, I think we know that from the beginning. I don't know.
Well, they are speaking Romulan.
Yeah.
And then the guy says, "Speak English."
Yeah, the black guy's last lines are "Speak English, motherfucker." It was a really cool ad lib.
Do they speak English in Star Trek, or is that just like?
I think so, because Picard speaks French.
Let's kind of assume they were like speaking some.
A fun little thing that I always
language.
A fun little thing that I always thought was odd about Picard is that they hammer home in The Next Generation a lot that his family is born in France and he grew up in France, and yet Patrick Stewart could not be more English.
Oh, well, you see, after Brexit,
things have changed, Swanson.
Yeah, I guess
they somehow got Brittany back.
Yeah.
Okay, so what year did you say this show took place in?
Like 2361.
2385 actually is supposed to be when the Romulan supernova happens. This is 14 years after that, so 2399.
Okay, so according to some website I went to, he's 94 years old.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense then.
Oh, by our standards, he's very fit for a 94-year-old.
Yeah. And also...
Yeah, but I don't know. I think our standards would be a bit higher if they could, like, build people.
Well, here's the other thing, Keel, right? He does straight up survive an explosion, which at 90, even at 94, should make you deader than dead.
Like, most people should... No, most people should be dead after you can see that the fireball is that close to you.
Like, a man of his age getting in that explosion, just in, like, the fallback, he should have broken every bone in his body and died.
Okay, does that make him in good shape, or does that just make the writing a bit off?
Well, I guess that's for us to decide.
Well, spoilers. We're not going to say good things.
So yeah, the fake news reporter goes after him for like advocating for this Romulan thing because they're a known enemy.
But actually, she's there to talk about the synths.
Yeah,
and get him on that.
Yeah, so she gets that clickbait that she always wanted, which is him telling people off. So then the Daj shows up at
France.
Yeah, Boston to France must be a real quick one in the future.
I mean, they do literally have teleporters, and we see people
they have teleporters
using teleporters.
But like, I guess my question is, how does she know to go to France?
Picard, that's a French name.
Like,
listen to that man's accent. He must be from France.
They do kind of in a roundabout way explain it.
Yes.
She knows things she shouldn't know.
Like the God voice in the back of her head.
So then we have this scene with her and Patrick Stewart, and all I could think about during this scene was, damn, Patrick Stewart is carrying the hell out of this television program. Because there is no one else on this show outside of maybe the guy who plays Data, and he's in 2 scenes, who can compare to what he's doing on the screen. Because none of these other people are like the doctor lady who shows up near the end is fun, I guess.
It would have been too much to get Jonathan Frakes, probably, like financially speaking. But
he's showing up later.
Oh,
and he's also directing episodes later in the show.
They should have gotten LeVar Burton as like a co-lead or something, like like a guy on Picard's team.
Have him read a book or something.
Have him escape from slavery.
Yeah.
That seems like something they would do in like those very awful early seasons of TNG.
Yeah, we're also weirdly getting a crossover with a character from Star Trek Voyager showing up apparently later. So that's odd because I don't remember Patrick Stewart showing up on that show. But I've also never watched it, so I watched all of it, so what do I know?
Maybe we'll get a Cisco cameo.
One could only hope. So yeah, he has this scene with her where he's like, I'm going to protect you. You're an asset.
You are a woman.
And she gets like frightened, I guess, by more visions and leaves.
Like literally doesn't even stay the whole night.
Yeah. And Picard's just like, oh boy, I guess I got to figure out what's going on with this. So
and then he has a slightly erotic dream of.
Oh yeah, of Data painting.
Like tastefully erotic.
Yeah.
Like it's not erotic, but very coded.
I feel like it's coded in the way that like the dreams in Blade Runner are coded. Like all that we needed was like Data riding like a pale white horse.
I don't know if it's deliberate or not. That's the thing that gets me.
Okay, here's my theory. They are lovers, and that's where this Daj came from.
Well, Daj actually talks to her supposed mother, though.
No, that's just her brain. That's just
So let me ask you this: when that lady opened that drawer up and Data was in it, was he turned on?
A little bit.
Well, also that's not Data.
Look, no, that's it's a copy of Data. It might be his brother Lore.
It looks exactly like Data.
Well, he did have an identical evil twin.
It's not the identical evil twin either. It's a thing from Nemesis that no one liked, where Data dies near the end of Nemesis, and then they don't commit to his death by saying, "Oh, we have a backup maybe with this guy." So this is a scene where they're showing that Data is definitely dead for people who might be concerned.
He's alive.
Yeah, he's in Picard's brain.
Anyways, I think that Data impregnated Picard.
Honestly, the possibility, not of him impregnating Picard, but of him being inside his head in some way might actually be a thing, I guess.
Since they were both corrupted by the Borg at one point.
Yeah. I guess it's a possibility.
And I think it makes more sense than him having vaguely homoerotic dreams about him, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cybernetic hive minds make more sense than just being gay.
In the Star Trek universe, yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Bob's here.
Was that your contractor?
Nice.
Yeah, he
they've been awfully quiet.
Angry.
I think we should go check on them. Oh.
He's angry.
No.
Oh boy, they're all dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still some dudes working over there, but like most of them are dead.
I can only hope the survivors are getting along.
No, they killed your statue guys. Now they're building the patio like they said.
Oh,
nice. We could really use that patio for our
bad.
Strategic TV tuners sessions.
Wait, why is this bad?
We've
the
offended
conflict is resolved.
We've offended Michael Kenneth Williams.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's not Omar in real life, Stairmaster.
He has many aspects.
So you think he really goes around and like sticks people up?
Yes.
Stair, that's like an act. That's like an actor. He like acts.
We must prepare for his wrath, repent, and settle your affairs.
Well, when he comes, I'm gonna offer him a seat on my new patio. I mean, our new patio. I'm definitely not going to only be using it for myself and myself only.
That'd be very selfish.
Wait, that I'm the one who wanted the patio.
Huh?
And we were gonna play poker on the patio.
Oh, sounds like a dream you had.
And paint a portrait of a daughter you could have together.
Yeah, and I was going to ride a pale white horse. All right, so Picard visits the...
So the plan's off, Swanson? We're not going to do all that on the patio?
Well, I guess we still can, but Michael K. Williams will be there.
Okay.
I hope not.
So, yeah, Picard visits the Starfleet Archive Museum, which I guess is just a collection of, like, everything that's ever happened with Starfleet.
It's the plot warehouse.
Yeah, he goes to a plot warehouse and he finds a plot. It is strange how, like, it's a little on the nose by Data to just name this portrait daughter. A little much, Data.
I think he would be better at that.
I guess he quite hasn't discovered human subtlety yet.
Hey, he's a computer, Swanson.
Yeah.
Come on, cut him some slack.
So he eventually reconnects with Daj, who had a scene with her mother potentially? Question mark. About how she needs to find Picard. And this seems like filler. It seems like they didn't have all of the material they wanted, so they just had.
So there's a really long action sequence.
Yeah.
It's very.
Well, I meant the part where she runs away from him and then comes right back to him.
Oh.
The action sequence is whatever. It's mostly fine.
Yeah, plot-wise, it doesn't really do anything for the story. They could have been together the whole time and everything would have played out the exact same way.
But we do get this choice line from Daj where she says, "I know stuff now." Great. When do we get that? When do I get to know stuff?
Never.
That is our curse as television watchers. Knowledge will slip through our fingers.
It's true, we'll never know.
And sand will fill our mouths.
We'll never know many things. Love. That's pretty much it.
Calculus.
Oh,
I know calculus. 2 + 2 = oh god.
Oh no.
it's square.
No.
2 + 2 =
Rubik's.
2 squared. 2 + 2 = 2 squared.
That is correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fight scene is... I didn't mind it for the most part. It ends in a shocker with her dying, quote unquote.
Yeah, I didn't know the Romulans were part xenomorph.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was up with that? Was he melting in the sun?
No. I don't know, maybe, but he had a bomb and also acid spray, I think.
No, I thought he just sprayed acid on his phaser rifle and that caused it to explode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But when his helmet came off, it looked like his face was melting.
Yeah, because he'd been hurt by her.
Is that what happens when Romulans get hurt? They start
so.
melting?
Yeah, sure.
You know, all I know about Star Trek TNG is through the reruns I saw on G4 back in the day.
Wow.
And somehow that didn't really go into Romulans somehow.
Right before Stairmaster tuned in for Attack of the Show.
That's more of an X-Play guy.
Yeah, I bet. So yeah, then this explosion happens where Picard should be deader than dead.
He's literally punched in the face by the fireball.
Yeah. But he wakes up and they're all like, "Wow, I can't believe you survived." And he's like, "Oh, I can't either."
They're just like, "Oh, you got really banged up there."
Yeah. So then he tracks down the scientist lady, Agnes Gerati, who is the only other actor in here who's kind of fun.
Yeah.
She's got some energy to her line readings.
But ultimately, she was just an exposition machine.
Yeah. So she delivers that the Picard is so you guys can't make
make a robot out of meat.
Yeah, and she's like, "No, that can't be happening." He's like, "Well, then how come a meat robot just came up to my vineyard one day
and died
horribly?" Oh yeah, I should mention that the security footage did not show the android or any of the Romulans. It was just Picard getting owned by an explosion.
Yeah,
so
true.
the police government don't know what happened.
Or they're covering it up.
So she's very concerned by this, but she mentions that, like, yeah, you can technically create organic passing androids, and they deduce that Dodge is in fact Data's daughter, and learn that, and twins. There's a twin.
And then we cut to this very dingy space station.
Yeah,
and we meet Twin.
It's a Romulan reclamation site, Stairmaster.
Yes, they're salvaging this entire Borg cube.
Yeah, which is
which doesn't seem like a good. It seems like nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, nothing can go wrong with just being inside a Borg cube. That's where the Borg show up, Keel, right? They're the robot people.
The Borg is bad. They get in people, and they're like, "Well, you're the Borg now."
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow, I got it right.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for Star Trek Picard. Is there any final thoughts on this one?
Doesn't feel very Star Trek-y. It reminds me more of 24 than Star Trek.
Yeah.
When is he going to go into space?
Yes, when is he going to go into space? And when is he going to find new planets?
If you stuck around for the this season on Picard, it seems like he's going into space pretty soon. But yeah, it is an odd choice to have a Star Trek that is not in space until the last minute. Not a lot of Star Trekking going on.
Yeah, we're supposed to be attached to this futuristic Earth, I guess. Is that the point?
I think, Discovery, or whatever the one... Challenger? What was
Enterprise?
The last main...
Yeah, I don't think they did Star Trek Challenger.
Enterprise was like the last TV show they did before the franchise kind of died for a while. And even then, was that the only one that started on Earth?
Yeah, and to be fair, that was a prequel from before Star Trek, from before the original Star Trek.
That's like the first hyperdrive ship.
It also sucked garbage.
Yeah. It
was so bad that it was worse than garbage. I'm not sure, actually. I've just never watched it because I heard it was bad. Anyway, noted former mayor of TV Land, the place not the network, and Star Trek fanatic, Sroll, did hand me a take on Star Trek Picard. This is his official take on Star Trek Picard.
Swanson,
from the mayor?
What was up with his behavior that day? He was wearing a trench coat and he discreetly handed you the take on a piece of paper. What was that about?
He said he didn't want to talk about it, but that he had big TV news to reveal on a later date and time. So,
is he happy that I'm mayor now?
Wait, you're mayor?
He said something about proving the false idol wrong. I don't know what that could mean.
Oh, is he mad that I won? Because I won.
I don't know. Anyway, here's what he said. It's an adequate TV show, but it also seeks to sand off all of the things that made Star Trek unique from other TV and make it just like every other peak TV show out now. Honestly, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little I've seen of Star Trek was a little bit more, I don't know, interesting and experimental than this.
It had its own flavor.
Yeah, it had, a way of telling stories that made, sense in a setting that was, in a utopian space society.
I mean,
near utopian.
I've only ever seen Star Trek on this tiny black and white TV that I wasn't supposed to have in my room.
Ooh, scandalous.
Forbidden trick.
And it was, it was interesting. It was like an episodic thing where they had a strange quandary to solve for the day, and they solved it. And it was like, oh, wow, we did it.
Yeah, I think Star Trek, more than anything, and this is true for Discovery, too, which is the other Star Trek show that's out now, is that we are beholden now to serialized storytelling, almost to a detriment at this point.
Yes.
Where something like The Mandalorian feels unique because, while it is serialized, the serialization doesn't take over every episode. That's something that I feel like Picard and Discovery especially could do better with following.
I get no impression there's going to be bite-sized adventures here. It's just going to be where's Data? Where's Data's brain?
Yeah.
What's Data up to?
Is Data's brother behind it all?
And, like, I'm not really interested in that. Kind of what I want to see from Star Trek Picard is Picard, like, leading a ragtag group of folks who are, like, young, up-and-coming pilots and whatnot. Not necessarily Starfleet guys, but, like, you know.
Oh, yeah, that would have probably been more interesting, him having to take on a new generation of space guys.
You can have, like, a captain who's, like, sort of like a cockier version of
Quite
Picard.
old man. I graduated at the top of my class.
Yeah.
Back in your old fossil days, you used to run things, but there's a new generation in town.
Klingons, they're nothing but a fable. And then Worf strangles him.
Yeah, it's Worf. Anyway, no Worf in this either. Weird.
I think Michael
Dorn.
Doohan?
Dorn.
Dorn. Yeah, I think I think he has better things to do.
Probably. And you should have better things to do.
Wasn't he a World War II vet?
Michael Dorn?
Swanson, are you saying this is a tune out?
Yeah, he lost some fingers in a war, I'm pretty sure.
Not World War II. He'd be dead by now. Anyway, if Michael Dorn were a World War II vet, by the time Next Generation came out, he would be in like 50. At least.
Michael Dorn was born in 1952. I might think you have a different actor.
Yes, most certainly. Anyway, I'm going to go first this time, and I'm going to say, I thought about it. I kind of wanted to give it a light tune in, but honestly, I got to give it a tune out. I have not felt Star Trek in over almost 2 decades at this point.
Oh, wow.
I guess in terms of like timeline, I've watched Star Trek way later than that, but in terms of like release timeline, Star Trek has not been interesting to me in 2 decades.
No, you should let the past die.
Yes, kill it if you must.
I'm definitely gonna give this a tune out. Partially because I have no attachment to Picard and his romance with Data, but also the show was kind of like Swirl said, it was just kind of typical TV. Nothing really interesting going on.
Yeah, even Patrick Stewart couldn't save this. I don't know.
There was some vaguely interesting political stuff,
and very vague it was.
Yeah, it was seemingly just brought up to have some drama, and then drop it a little while later. I guess the Romulans were the people he tried to rescue, but now they're angry about something. Maybe that's interesting, but I don't care enough, so tune out.
Yeah, it seems like they're murdering robots, but yeah, tune out.
That's a tune out on Star Trek Picard. And that'll...
Yeah, just watch The Expanse instead.
Yeah, pretty much. That'll about do it for this week's episode of the show. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Until then, make it so. It's over.
Hey there, folks. It's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster has never replaced a light bulb?